Good evening, everyone. It is I, Chris Classic. I'm going to drop another video today. I thank you guys for watching my other two previous videos. I'm thankful for the people that subscribed. Look it up YouTube, the Take It Home podcast. Also follow my other YouTube channel, C3 Wrestling. Some great talent there. We got my champions, tag champions, everything. All those matches are uploaded. Subscribe and watch. We're going to go into one of the hottest topics from this past Monday. Goldberg apparently has returned, and now he's going to go against Drew McIntyre at the Royal Rumble. Now, looking at my feed, my news feed on Facebook and even on YouTube, you see a lot of people disgusted. They are upset that, oh my God, Goldberg is so old and he can't do it. His matches are less than a minute. Why do they keep booking William Goldberg in title matches? Let's break it down for a minute. Goldberg was one of the hottest stars in WCW that WCW has created. We could say that Sting is the face. We could say a whole bunch of other wrestlers. But this was a dude that was built from the ground up, right? When I was a kid, he was one of my favorite wrestlers. I actually preferred him better than Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's just me. His moveset as a wrestler now and a lot older, it wasn't the best, but when you saw that spear and you saw that jackhammer, you knew it was done. You knew it was a wrap. So going through that, with that being said, we're going to talk about why would they? Well, he still draws. You know, a lot of people, we want to talk about ratings on TV, but we also need to talk about views on YouTube, thread sheets, forums. We got to talk about these things. These things could be converted to a form of currency. You know, you can get monetized on YouTube. You can get monetized by the revenue that you get on your website. Goldberg is one of those fellas. Stone Cold is one of those fellas. Even Hulk Hogan. You know, a lot of us don't like Hulk Hogan because of what he did, what he said, or even how he acts as an egomaniac. But you know that if you put Hulk Hogan on TV, and if I go talk to somebody who used to watch it, they're going to go watch it. They're going to look at it. They're going to look it up. If you say Stone Cold is coming back to wrestle, do you know how many people who don't watch wrestling anymore is going to watch it? With Goldberg is probably like one of those guys that be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to get a check and then just wrestle. Now, do I personally like that Goldberg is back to wrestle? Not really. And I'm one of his top fans because we already know what we can expect out of him. But the thing is, he is a draw. People will tune in and pay attention. It's a title match. It's for the top title in the company. So this is why people are going to watch it regardless if we don't want to or not. It can be a bathroom break for a lot of people. They can smack their teeth, roll their eyes, but Goldberg is still a draw. As a owner of a wrestling company, I can say for a fact that if Goldberg decides to do independent shows and he has a fair price, a lot of independent companies will book Goldberg, regardless of how they feel about him in the title picture for WWE. Let's say his booking price is $500. I'm over-exaggerating, but if it's $500, you're going to see Goldberg on the independent scene. You are. People are going to put titles on him, which is ironic because we're upset with WWE for putting the title on him multiple times. And this is the thing about hypocrisy. It's like, okay, this is the #1 company, so you should have your best guys or your fresh guys. But the number one thing you have to realize is, do they draw? Will they make a casual fan want to look at that? And I'm not saying that WWE doesn't have it. And I do think that WWE does lean more towards the legends. But as a performer, you sometimes have to get yourself over. You have to promote yourself. And a good example is Zack Ryder. Regardless of how we feel about him now, he had a YouTube channel and was on Twitter and he was on a lot of things promoting himself. Not even the company, which was the #1 company, by the way. He was promoting himself. Now, I'm saying this to a lot of people. I think he put the blueprint, or other wrestlers put a blueprint on how you put yourself over and how you want fans to pay attention. Now, I do think WWE dropped the ball on him, but at the same time, this is a good way of putting yourself over. It's more than just walking around with the title. It's more than that. We want so many people to be champions, but at the end of the day, do they draw? Will they be as big as a Goldberg? You know, sometimes WWE does give competitors that chance. And sometimes they drop the ball. Sometimes WWE drops the ball on them, and sometimes they just don't deliver. WWE is a business more than it is a wrestling company, and I think most of us need to realize that. Of course, if we all have a fantasy booking on how we will book WWE or AEW or all these other shows, we have a fantasy booking. But at the end of the day, we have to go into reality and realize, are these people going to give us money? How are we going to get money? Goldberg is one of those guys that former watchers of wrestling will watch. They will pay to see, or they will go to someone's house, or they will look it on YouTube because of how big of a guy he was. I used to work at Toys R Us, and I bought the Goldberg DVD. It's a 3-pack, I believe. I was a big fan of Goldberg. One of my co-workers, he was also a fan of Goldberg, but he wasn't watching wrestling like that. So I told him, man, I got this DVD. It was dope, man, like Goldberg matches and all of this stuff. Man, for real, let me borrow it. I let him borrow it. That's a good thing right there. It was a DVD in the YouTube era and the streaming era. He wanted to see a DVD of Goldberg. That just shows you how big of a name Goldberg is to this day. So we have to think about working on a name. Even me as an owner and also a wrestler, I have to try to make my own name. I have to learn how to draw. I have to learn how to work hard. And I think I'm doing a great job. There's stuff that I'm still learning along the way, but I'm still building. So this is why Goldberg gets booked. It doesn't matter if all he has is a messed up jackhammer, a messed up spear, he bleeds or whatever. The horrible match he had with Undertaker, I don't want to talk about that. But this is what I'm saying. This guy still draws, still sparks interest. Regardless of how we feel, each post that we make, each act that we put to him, each tweet, each email, each Facebook post, that is a form of attention. Now WWE is thinking about, now everyone's thinking about WWE because of that. Oh, I'm mad at WWE. How dare they do this and how dare they do that? But it gets you talking, and it also will probably make you watch the show because Goldberg has been very successful in winning title matches, regardless if it's a minute or 5 minutes. It gets us talking. That's the main thing that I want to say, that Goldberg in a title picture gets us talking. Once again, this is Chris Classic. Thank you for watching it. Thank you as we took it home.